My favorite thing about the Syro-Malabar Church is coming together as a community with so many people who have such an appreciation for our unique culture.
My favorite thing about the Syro-Malabar Church is CCD, because you get to talk with your friends and learn about Jesus and the church.
We're all 50 states has so many different churches, so many different missions, and I think it's so amazing that a weekend like this we're all able to come together and make new friends. And I think just the diversity, culture, coming together in community is so beautiful.
My favorite thing about the Syro-Malabar Church is the DYA, the Diocesan Youth Apostolate. I'm very proud to be selected as the first representative of my parish to serve on the DYA. I'm very happy to be part of the DYA as well, just because I was able to make a lot of different friends, make many different connections as well. So I hope that I serve as an inspiration for the youth of my parish as well, and I'm just very blessed to be part of the DYA.
My favorite thing is how many events there are, like family night and academy night, because everyone can really come together and show off their talents.
My favorite thing about Syro Church is how we're one big family, in the sense that we can go to aunties and uncles for any prayer requests, questions, concerns, and how we kind of support each other and help each other grow, and in community with each other and with Christ. And so that's why I love the Syro Church.
So it's faith, tradition, and culture. Three things that's my favorite thing about Syro-Malabar Church.
My favorite thing about the Syro-Malabar Church is the Diocesan Youth Apostolate Initiative. I've had the luxury of meeting so many people from all 6 regions, especially my region, the Northeast. I've been to 5 of the 7 parishes, and I'm hoping to go to the Bronx and Boston this year.
One of my favorite things about the Syro-Malabar Church is probably going to be the tradition. And just last week, it was the St. Thomas Festival, and it was nice to see the parish community get together and celebrate the feast.
My favorite thing about the Syro-Malabar Church is our liturgy, and we have such a beautiful and rich tradition that goes all the way back to the time of St. Thomas. And just to be able to come to the liturgy and enter into the divine mysteries with such an amazing look on how God sees us and what our relationship with God is.
So I go to church every Sunday. We have a group called CYM, and they are actually from India. They moved here less than 10 years ago. So I kind of connect with them. They speak Malayalam, and I get connected with them, and we planned a lot of things. We have a skip together, dance, all that good things. I get a chance to meet a lot of people and hang out. That's one thing. And tradition, I get to wear my fancy Indian clothes. That's another thing I like about going to church.
Today we have with us the premier sponsors of the Syro-Malabar Jubilee Convention of the Chicago Diocese, Dr. Sheila and Verghese Malirga. Let's ask them about this convention, the growth of the diocese, and the dreams that they cherish.
I came in 1974 to go to college. So been here 52 years.
And I joined him after marriage in 1980.
So if you look at the history over the last 50 years, you can break it into generally 2 phases. There's a pre-diocesan phase and a post-diocesan phase. The pre-diocesan phase, the unique feature of this mission, this effort, is that it was initiated and led by the laity, not by the hierarchy. So how it started was in 1975, there were a number of us who were here in Chicago. And I think it was a love of the Holy Kurbana that made us think we want to have Holy Kurbana, attend Holy Kurbana, participate in Holy Kurbana. So a Jesuit priest, originally of the Syro-Malabar rite, who was studying at Loyola University along with me, organized to give us the Madonna della Strada Chapel of Loyola University to celebrate Holy Kurbana, and brought in Syro-Malabar priests to say Mass there for us. And that is how it got started. And from that small beginning, eventually, Mar Joseph Parambilo of Pala Diocese was given the responsibility for immigrants in the United States. And he came, met up with Cardinal Bernardine back then, and got agreement from him to use a church that was going out of, essentially out of being used. And so we had a church. From that small beginning, in 1975 and then into the 80s, we had a mission established, we had a parish established. Then, of course, since we had the infrastructure in Chicago, when Mar Gregory Carotambrel came as a visitator, we were able to advocate for Chicago to be the site of the see for the new diocese. That is how we got Chicago as the new diocese and Bishop Angadiath as a new bishop. So there's a very quick history of how we have evolved the first 25 years. Then, of course, diocese was formed and things that happened after that. Maybe you can comment on that.
Well, after the diocese was formed, the community was very vibrant, and the young people got involved. Prior to that, it was the older guys. Then with the young people, we were invited, as with several other numerous, happy volunteers, to participate in the laity movement, which included religious education for the children. In fact, both of us were religious education teachers, and I was a teacher for the 8th grade, which is confirmation class, and I see them as adults here right now. The CCD classes, the Bible classes, which were led by 12 Malpans, including 2 women, one of them me, and then religious pre-Catholic classes. So the community grew with all those various laity-led, clergy-guided movements.
Okay.
So here we are.
So as we stand at the threshold of the 25th anniversary of this diocese, let me ask you a rather personal question. Like, as you think about the diocese and the church in the United States, what's a deep personal hope or dream that you cherish?
Yes, this is a very interesting question. In fact, I led a general session and a panel yesterday on this very topic. And to encapsulate that mission and vision, this is how I think about it. The mission always continues to be the baptismal mandate, which is to sanctify the world, to evangelize. The vision for this church that we have developed is the following. One, it needs to be faithful. We need to be faithful stewards of the patrimony. And the patrimony involves the theology, the spirituality, the liturgy, and the administration. That is one. Two, we need to be deeply rooted in the United States. We cannot be and we should not be a transplant anymore. We need to take root in the United States. That is number two. Number three, we need to be missionary in apostolate. We cannot hide behind any vestige of our fears or our insularities, and we have to go out and evangelize and be missionary in our attitude. And lastly, we need to be Indian American in culture. And for this to happen, the absolute sine qua non is that we need the second generation, the young people, the young priests, the young seminarians, the young people to take the leadership. That from the next 25 years has to be the next quarter of a century of the second generation. That is my dream. And part of this dream is that we will have local vocations, and before 25 years are out, I want to be able to kiss the ring of a bishop born in the United States.
Here at the Syro-Malabar Convention, I've met someone who's very fascinated with the Syro-Malabar liturgy, the Holy Kurbana, and I'd love to know more about her and her experience with the Syro-Malabar Church. Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Mary King Kirchhoff. I'm a physician. I take care of children with disabilities.
That's amazing.
I was introduced to the Holy Kurbana by friends who are nurses, and neighbors.
Oh,
I live not far from St. Thomas Cathedral, so I've been blessed to be able to go to several holy kurbanas there, and I find them very enriching. They're longer than what I'm used to in the Roman Catholic rite, where I was brought up, but I find them especially beautiful. I've been to some in the Malabar language, and I've been to English ones. But what strikes me about the kurbana is that I feel like I'm being brought up to heaven.
oh wow.
The music is beautiful. The participation of everybody around me was inspiring. The liturgy itself, there are some similarities but profound differences, but it helped me appreciate liturgy of the word in a different way. But even the expression of the Our Father, you do it a few times. The repetition is beautiful. It helps me concentrate and be aware of what I'm praying. And one of my very first kurbana that I attended, I became aware of, was obvious to me, of the Jewish roots. The curtain is something that was brought from Judaism, and it helped me appreciate as well the ancient roots of the Holy Kurbana,
Yeah.
which I also really appreciate.
Do you really think there is room within the Syro-Malabar Church for someone who is not ethnically Indian, or someone who is from within the Syro-Malabar Church?
Yes, I have brought friends to St. Thomas.
Oh, really?
And I hope to have a pilgrimage this summer of other physicians and members of the Catholic CMA to go to St. Thomas for a Kurbana.
That's so wonderful to hear, actually, because I've always been curious about the experience of the other regarding the Syro-Malabar liturgy. I'm so glad that you were able to experience it and that you get to continue to experience it.
Oh, I plan to continue to go on a routine basis because it is so beautiful.
Welcome back to Shekinah Global News. We're going to connect the story previously with Miss Mary to the two sisters that she had mentioned previously. So let's go to Sister.
I'm so glad to introduce our friend, Dr. Mary. She's a pediatrician. We came to know her from the parish St. Odilo, where we lived last 12 years. And she is a faithful who attended the Mass regularly at 6:30. We never missed her in the church. That's the way we get connected. And slowly we introduce ourselves and introduce our faith and Syro-Malabar tradition to her. And she started to attend our Mass, especially on our feast days, Rasa. She started to enjoy it in first Malayalam, even though she did not understand everything completely. But she started to enjoy the music, our tradition. Thereafter, she regularly attends the Rasa. Last time she wrote to me, this last feast time, she wrote me, she was almost crying in the church after attending our Rasa Kurbana.
Beautiful.
That's how she loved our tradition and the church.
I do love it. I do love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.